Welcome to another stock market update. Today is March 2nd, 2019. Hope you're enjoying your weekend. Let's take a look at the indexes. We're going to be focusing on the cash index and also the ETF for these indexes. So let's start off looking at the Dow Jones Transportation. Came up and pulled back a bit. Right now I'm looking to see if it comes down, find support near the 10,270.50, then possibly see a bounce off of that. If it is to continue to move up, then I'd be looking at this 10,977.75 as the next potential resistance area. Looking at the Dow Jones Industrial, you see the Dow Jones Industrial came up to this potential resistance at 26,223.10. Pull back a bit. Right now it's still hovering just underneath it. I'm also looking at to see would it be come down to the potential support at 25,439, then see if it could bounce off of that, or if it is continue to move up and break above this 26,223, then I will be looking for this thing to come up and take a stab at the all-time high, possibly above this 26,945. And the ETF for the Dow Jones Industrial, you can see that it bumped up to this 262.08 resistance and came down, pulled back a little bit. Right now it's still holding inside of this composite value area here. And if it could break above this composite value area, then I'd be looking for this thing to move up to the all-time high. Otherwise, I'd be looking for this ETF to pull back, the diamond to pull back to possibly 254.35 or near the composite point of control at 253.55 for possible support here, and see what it get a bounce off of that. If it doesn't, then I essentially looking for this to retrace back down to the lower edge of this balance zone and possibly come down and test the value area low, the composite value area low. And if we look at the S&P 500, the S&P 500 also came up to this potential resistance here at the 2795.14, came back, and right now is still it peak back above this resistance. We'll be watching to see it will continue to move up to the 2864.12. That's the next potential resistance I have for the S&P 500. If it pulls back below the 2795.14, then I'd be watching for it to pull back to 2738.98 for potential support, then look for a possible bounce off of that level. The SPY came up to this value area high near the 281, pull back, and right now it's bumping just beneath that. So again, if it could move up above this composite value area here, then I will be looking for the SPY to come up to this 285.50 potential resistance area, or if it pull back into the zone and get below the 279.16, then I will keep an eye on the composite point of control near 274 and the potential support here at the 273.44 to see would it get a bounce off of that if it pull back in. Otherwise, if it can't find support in that level, then I'll be looking for the next potential support level at 266.98, and if that doesn't hold, then we're basically looking for a 256 near the value area low, composite value area low. And looking at the NASDAQ 100, the NASDAQ 100 also came up to this resistance near the 7158.78. Right now it's still kind of hovered at. If it could break through, then I'd be looking at this 7300 level for potential resistance. But if it pull back, then I'd be looking at this 7034.94 as the next potential support there. and see would it get a bounce back up. If it's not, then the next potential level of support will be 68.16 QQQ, the ETF for the Nasdaq 100. It is up against this 174.27 extension and near the composite value area high. And right now I'm basically looking for this thing to see would it be able to break out of that 174 and move up toward the 178.12 potential resistance level. If it can't, then looking for a pullback to 171.37, possibly see if it get a bounce. If it's not, then I'll be looking for this thing to pull back to the 167 near the point of control, the composite point of control here. The Russell 2000 cash index, you can see that it's trying to come up to this 1611 resistance, failed to make it up there and pull back. Right now it might be making another attempt. If it could get above the 1611, then I'd be looking at the 1630.1 as the next potential resistance. But first of all, it has to get above the 1611. If it continue to pull back, then I'd be looking at 1553.30 as the potential support. If it can't hold that, then I'd be looking at 1487.20. The IWM, the ETF for the Russell 2000, you can see that it came up close to the composite value area high at 159.66 and then pulled back into the zone, came back up. Right now it's sitting just above the balance zone here. If it could break through the value area, then looking at the 162.26 as next potential resistance. But first of all, you have to get through this 160.11. If it pulled back into the zone, then I'd be looking for the next test for potential support around 154.48 and also close to the composite point of control near that 153.38. If it doesn't bounce off of that, then be looking for the move down to 147.92, the next potential support level. Well, the market is in a inflection point, so kind of have to be careful and be patient, because usually when a market move away from an inflection point, it can be very volatile. So just be patient. It is in an inflection point and the market is going to do something. Either it's going to break out or it's going to break down. So hopefully you like this video and give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give it a thumbs down. If you're not a subscriber of my YouTube channel, go and click on the subscribe button and be sure to click on that bell icon so you get the notification whenever I upload a new video.